cash flow, really, when you're talking about cash flow, this is just like any business or anything else, right? It just refers to the movement of money. That's what cash flow is. The money that comes in and the money that goes out. Everything has to get added up. So this would be one side, like the ledger page, right? This is one side of the ledger page. This is everything that's coming in. And most people, like we said, have a handle on what's coming in. It's now the fun part on the other side where it's the money that's going out, right? And, for us, it really comes down to three categories when we look at it. The money that goes out, those must-pay expenses. That's rent or the mortgage. That's insurance. That's groceries in the house. That's not eating out. That's food in the refrigerator, in the cabinets. Utility bills, that type of thing. Those are the must pay. Those can be fixed, those can be variable. We've talked about that. We'll talk about it a little bit more when we get into budgeting, but those are money that's going out that has to go out. And then we'll always talk about putting you next, paying yourself, right? That's either your savings or investments or a combination thereof. And then lastly, now we get to lifestyle, which is discretionary spending. It's understanding and get a handle on, this is where my money's going, right? But I need to be breaking it down into those sort of categories so I can get a handle on where I'm actually spending my money. Right, a budget, that's just the definition there. It's an estimate of an income and expenditure, sort of what we just talked about, but for a set period of time. And I think this is one of the things that trips people up a lot, is that they think about doing a budget and it's sort of like the budget is going to be there forever, right? That's not how a budget should really work. A budget should really work on a shorter time frame as you're trying to achieve something, whether that's saving for a goal, whether that's getting out of debt, whatever the case may be. That's what you're trying to do when putting a budget together. At Aries, we look at budget differently, right? For us, it's not about trying to tell you this is where you should spend your money, or this is how much you should be putting away, because you'll see that all over the place. People tell you 10, 15%, put this here, put that there, all of this stuff. Not how we look at it. For us, this is where you're spending your money now, because that's what you really need to take a look at. You need to get an understanding of where you're spending your money today. I don't care what the budget says you should do. And frankly, more than likely, almost everybody, they have a budget, but they never stick to it because they spend on other stuff. And that's fine, just as long as you understand and can get a handle on where you're spending that other money. Building a budget, the first thing for us is defining the time period, right? It shouldn't be this, I'm just putting a budget together and that's going to be my budget for the rest of my life type of thing, right? It should be, hey, I'm putting a budget together because I want to do X. And whether that's save, whether that's reduce debt, whatever the case may be, I'm going to budget for this period of time because you'll be easier to control the expenditure and the follow through with the action plan if you have a definitive timeline. You need to understand what you're spending now. And so going forward for, let's call it the rest of the year, if we were doing this, it would be, here's what I know my rent or my mortgage is going to be between now and the end of the year. Here's what it's costed me so far for utilities. So I can divide that number by 7 months. And this is probably what it's going to cost me on an average time for the next 5 months of the year going forward. Mm-hmm. Groceries, same idea, same thing. You can average this out so that you know what you're going to be spending on those.
Right. And sometimes, I look at some of that type of saving as more of the fixed expense. Like you're trying to, you're putting money away for yourself, or you're putting away money for a future big goal like retirement. That's kind of should be built into your fixed expenses, and a little where you should be looking to make those sacrifices should come into your discretionary spending.
Learning how to make sure that whatever that savings, whether it's emergency reserves or paying down debt or saving for retirement or education or whatever it is, that's not being derailed by making a purchase or wanting to buy something newer, better, greater, you need to take away from something else that's more discretionary.
Well, the other thing too, Tom, I think, and this happens with a lot of younger people I see who haven't really got the handle on money yet, is they live beyond their means, right? Because I deserve it now. Don't I deserve? I worked hard. I should be able to take this vacation. I'll just throw it on my credit card. Or, I'm going out with my friends. I can't not spend the money. I mean, we're all going out together. So, but what you don't start taking into account, like you said, is that basic budgeting. And now you're living this lifestyle beyond your means. And it gets very difficult to go backwards because you don't want to give up those things.
Okay, so we told you that if Think with a Drink had a house brew, that it would be cash flow and budget. If we had a house song, this would be it, right? That you can't save until you know what you are spending. And in the flip side, you really shouldn't be spending until you know what you want to be saving. And this gets to the heart of what we were talking about, that until you have that set, until you know exactly what you are going to be saving or spending, you can't be saving, because you end up in a situation where it just becomes a problem to get a handle on that. And you really shouldn't be spending until you know what you want to be saving, because let's face it, that we just end up spending and we really have no idea how we're going to do that and where we're going to be with it. So, just again, the differences between budget and cash flow, right? So cash flow helps you understand where you are from that point of the movement of money, right? The money that comes in, the money that goes out. It's a good idea to get a handle on, this is just where I am. And Craig does this all the time with people with the ledger. Here's the one side, this is everything you got coming in. Here's everything you got going out. We're not looking at where it's going. We're just looking at the bottom line number. Either you got a surplus or you got a negative on a monthly basis, and that's what you have to deal with. Yep. The budget lets you get a handle on why you have that negative or why you have that surplus.
Have questions? Ask us. We can help with that. You can email Craig at crichardson@ariesfoundation.org, or you can visit the website to learn more about what we do and how we might be able to help you. www.ariesfoundation.org. Want to see more of this recording? Go to www.ariesfoundation.org/events. If you know an organization or community support group that could benefit from one of our workshops, reach out to Tom T. Alessi at ariesfoundation.org. Our mission is trying to help everyone have a better relationship with their money.